These are the notes for 2.5C, the third and final lesson of lesson 2.5. And with this lesson, we're looking at multiplying and dividing positive and negative fractions. So as we look at number 18 here, we have two mixed numbers and we're asked to multiply them together. One's net positive, one's negative. So before we can multiply fractions, we need to get rid of mixed numbers. We need to change mixed numbers into improper fractions. So hopefully you remember how to do that. If not, so it's always the bottom times the whole number, and then you add the top number. So 1 and 8 over 27, 27. So again, it's bottom times the top, and then that number, or bottom times the whole number, and then add the top to that. So 27 times 1 is 27. 27 plus 8 is 35. So it's going to be 35 over 27. Okay, 35 over 27 times 5 times 2 is 10. You can ignore the negative sign for right now. So 5 times 2 is 10, and 10 plus 2 is 12. So it's going to be 12 over 5, and then we just make it negative after that. So negative 12 over 5. And then when you multiply, you just multiply straight across. 35 times the negative 12, 27 times the 5. And again, you can ignore the negative sign. We know we're multiplying a positive times a negative, so we know at the end our answer needs to be negative. Remember, it's the same rule. It's the same rule when you were multiplying two numbers that were not fractions if one was negative, one was positive. So you count the signs. So if you have an odd number of negatives, then your answer will be negative. If you have an even number of negative signs, then your answer will be positive. So we see we've got one negative sign in this problem right there, one negative sign, so we know our answer at the very end needs to be negative. So again, you multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. Now, what you are allowed to do, and a lot of you will remember this, is you're allowed to cross factor or cross divide or cross simplify before you do that. So the diagonals there. So 35 and 5. What will divide them? Well, 5 divides itself once, and we'll divide 35 7 times. And we look at the 27 and the 12, and 3 will divide both of them. 3 will divide 12 4 times, and 3 will divide 27 9 times. So all that does is it makes the number smaller and easier for us to multiply. So then we do 7 times the 4, and we get 28. And we do 9 times the 1, and we get 9. So we get 28 over 9, and that is in simplest form, unless you want to simplify it to a mixed number, which would be 3 and 1/9. 9 goes into 28 3 times with 1 left over, and the denominator stays 9. Now again, like we were talking about, since one of your fractions is negative, your answer needs to be negative. So negative 28 over 9, or negative 3 and 1/9. Okay, the negative sign with the mixed number should be with your whole number there. All right. We look at 20, we have a regular fraction, 2 over 15, and then we've got the mixed number. So we don't need to do anything with 2 over 15. It will stay 2 over 15 times 3 times 1 is 3, plus the 2 is 5. So 5 over 3, and again, it's negative. Look for any cross factoring. So the 2 and the 3 are diagonal. There's nothing that will divide 2 and 3 other than 1, and that won't help us. But 5 will divide itself once, and 5 will divide 15 3 times. So 2 times 1, again, we're multiplying just straight across. Multiply straight across. 2 times 1 is 2, and 3 times 3 is 9. And 2 over 9 is in simplest form. And again, it's negative. We have one negative sign, so we know our answer at the end should be negative. Negative 2/9. Okay. If you want to try 24 on your own and then check your answer, go ahead and hit pause. Try it, and then see if you get it right. So here we go with division now. So, division similar to multiplication. 3 times 1 is 3, plus the 2 is 5, so 5 over 3 divided by 3 times 3 is 9, plus the 1 is 10, so 10 over 3, and it's negative. So here's what you have to do on 24. We want to change division into a multiplication problem. Okay, 8 divided by 2 equals 4. I think we all can agree with that. Now, what also equals 4, if we make both of these fractions, 8 over 1 divided by 2 over 1, you could flip this around. Division becomes multiplication. 2 over 1 would become 1 over 2. And then you cross factor, go through all your normal steps, divide itself once and 8 4 times, and you would get 4 over 1, which is 4. So we get the same answer. So what we're saying is that dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by a half. That's called the reciprocal. When you flip that over, it's called the reciprocal. So multiplying by the reciprocal is the same as dividing by that number. Go ahead and erase this. So what we're doing then is we're going to leave 5 over 3 alone. We're going to change division to multiplication, and 10 over 3 will become 3 over 10. Again, that fraction's negative. Negative sign can be with the 3 or the 10. It doesn't matter. Now and only now are you allowed to cross factor. So you cannot cross factor when it was in this situation. You can only cross factor after you've changed it to multiplication and then flip the second fraction. So 3 divides itself once and itself once. 5 divides itself once and 10 twice. Multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1 and 1 times 2 is 2. And again, one of our fractions is negative, so our answer needs to be negative. Odd number of negatives, answer needs to be negative. So there's your answer for 24, negative 1/2. 26. Let's get to 26. If we were to write this out sideways like in 24, it's top divided by the bottom. So the top is negative 10 divided by the bottom, which is 5/13. And then how do we make negative 10 a fraction? Well, all whole numbers as fractions, you just put it over 1. So negative 10 as a fraction is negative 10 over 1. So now we've got our division problem, and just like up above, we want to change division into multiplication. So negative 10 over 1 stays the same. Division becomes multiplication. 5 over 13 becomes 13 over 5. Now you're allowed to cross factor if there's any cross factoring to do. Nothing to do with 13 and 1, but 5 divides itself once and 10 twice. Now multiply straight across. 2 times 13 is 26. 1 times 1 is 1. So we've got 26 over 1, which will simplify to 26. And if we count our negative signs, again, one of our numbers was negative, so our answer needs to be negative. If they were both negative, then our answer would be positive. If it was negative 10 over negative 5/13, then we would have a positive answer, but it's negative 26. All right, so your homework is to do the next 4 problems, 17, 19, 25, and 27.